Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, welcome to where are we, 24th? Oh my goodness, 24th episode of let's get this screen off of the 24th episode of our game night with Conflict of Nations that we're playing. We are deep. I'm coming fresh off of our quarantine happy hour that we did from 8 to about 10:30. We are deep now into the end game of our Conflict of Nations gameplay that we're going through. Let's grab that screen to share along with the audio this time. There's the game. I am playing Texas. I'm playing Texas, and you'll be able to see the map right here. Loading up. Oh, over here. Boop. There it is. Let me get some audio in my ear here. All right, so let's get this game loaded up and see what... Dude, things have changed drastically since last week, okay? So last week, California was attacking me. We kicked them out of the coalition, or they left the coalition because they went inactive. And then we replaced them with British Columbia. British Columbia, hi, Moose Gal. British Columbia joined the coalition, went down and took over California, took out Saskatchewan, moved down into attacking Mexico. So if we scroll out real quick, let me switch this screen to put the map big screen. There it is. Okay, so as you can see, our progress, we're at 2,200, 2,500. We should have this fully wrapped up in the next 5 or 6, actually probably 3 or 4 days, because we are grabbing 100 victory points every day between the three of us, between us in Texas, British Columbia, and Virginia. So we've taken out Chihuahua, Nuevo Leon. BC is going against Mexico, Yucatan, and California down here in Central America. I am still dealing with Georgia and Florida now. And as you can see, I have a handful of units over here that I'm working on, just kind of picking off the regions that are exposed here in Georgia. And then up here in Iowa. Okay, so here's what happened early on. Just a recap for this particular map. I started in Texas. I was very excited to start Texas. Texas is one of the strongest positions. I think they start off in first or second place on this map. Over here, Iowa has moved through Illinois has moved through Davenport, and I've got units pushing down and back. I'll pick up 8, 8, 8. That's 24. I'll pick up 24 more victory points in the next 2 days as I take over those cities. So what I did early in the game is, as Texas, I jumped out and I took over New Mexico, and I pushed up through what the hell is going on here? I went through New Mexico. I pushed through Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas. I went all the way up through these central states, through Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, and I was going to come back down along the river and cut across with a fresh set of troops and go down through the east side of the river and just kind of take over all this. What that ended up doing for me was basically pissing off all my neighbors. So Colorado declared war, Louisiana declared war, Georgia eventually declared war. You can go back and look at the previous episodes and see I was at war with 15 opponents at one point, which seriously inhibited my economic development and made it really hard for me to advance because I was constantly at war. I was constantly spending money on units and forces and doing all the things that were really sapping energy and economic capacity away from building my economic base. I started another game very recently with California, and we're like at day 35 or so, not day 46. We're day like 35 in California, and I am advanced all across the board. I am way better in California right now, and I had a different strategy that I employed. I didn't want to be at war with more than two positions at the same time. So uh, in this other game that I'm playing, I focused on taking out first Nevada before I went to war with Oregon. So I took over Nevada. Then, when Nevada was dealt with, I took over Oregon. When Oregon was dealt with, then I moved on to Utah. When Utah was dealt with, then I went on to deal with Washington. When Washington was dealt with, then I moved on to what was the next one I went to? Wyoming, if I'm not mistaken. And then, slowly piecemeal working my way through. So we're like on day 25 or so, and I am currently at war with nobody in the other game. And we may join that game in progress once we get this one wrapped up next week. But it is entirely different than this one, because in that one, I was not at war with anybody, and my economic development was way more advanced where we're at right now. So if you decide to play this game, if you choose to play this game and you jump into it, um, no Moose Cow. California is not attacking me. Illinois is about to be conquered by us over here in Texas. I am going to crush them. My units are going to flow through their regions and consume them like the unstoppable force that they are. Sorry, Moose Cow. But I will give you favored status in my new empire uh, as I uh, move across uh, move across the map. So what I was going to show, I also did a very stupid strategy in this particular map. I was trying to move forward through the helicopter strats. Helicopters are shit. They're trash. They're garbage. As soon as they run into any anti-aircraft, uh, anti-air anything, they get just completely and totally decimated. So I've got two that have been built now. I'm going to move them over here to Austin to settle in. These are specifically anti-infantry aircraft, or helicopters rather. They are intended to work against infantry. This here is an armored piece, and that armored piece is way stronger against these uh, helicopters. And as soon as I send these helicopters against that armor piece, see this guy, he's attacked them twice and he's down to 8.5 out of 15. They just get wiped out. They get just the shit kicked out of them. They are an embarrassment. So I tried out that strat this time around and it was just bad. I'm never going to do that again. But let's go check out. I'm reluctant to do the California because fuck it, let's do it. So we're full on in end game here. End game is where you're building up. We're going full offense, full offensive production, building up our units, working to take out all of our opponents. No longer am I worried about economic buildup. No longer am I worried about uh, uh, economic factors or anything like that. All it is tanks and infantry and just fucking shit up across the map. Now, we here in California, I'm in the early stages of that Texas game. I was doing everything on a 2 day, at least a 2 day delay, because I didn't want my opponents to see what I was doing in case they came across these videos. After I saw how many people were actually watching the videos, I became less concerned about that. So now, here is the other video with California. California. Now, this is the one where we started out, where I started out, and I did not want to be at war with anybody unless I had to be. So first step was to take out. I'm trying to move the screen on the wrong screen. So first step was down in Baja California. That's a country. Uh, and instead of going to war with Chihuahua, they took over Mexicali. And instead of going to war with them, I've just kept a unit here monitoring what's going on at the border. That was fine. I did not want to go to war with them if I didn't have to. I don't have to. I'm not going to. Now, the next step was Nevada, then Utah. Now, there are two types of opponents in this particular map. There's player opponents and non-player opponents. The non-player opponents have lots of territory, but only one city, and that would be places like Oregon, Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska. Those all have one city. Alberta has one city. Manitoba had one city. Um, the other players, the actual player positions, have 5 to 7 cities. So BC had 7, Washington had 6, if I'm not mistaken. Idaho has 6 or 7, Arizona has 6, Colorado has 6, New Mexico has 1. It's a non-player position. Chihuahua has 6, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When it starts off, Texas is the strongest position. California is right behind them uh, with several cities. So I didn't want to be at war with anybody that I didn't have to be at war with. And that was the strategy that I employed in this game. And you may not remember, you probably didn't pay attention. That's fine. I don't either. I am much more, we're at day 36. I am much more economically well positioned in this game than I was in the last game because A, I'm more popular. B, because of the popularity, all of my regions and all of my cities are producing better goods that they produce, and that puts me in a better position to do research instead of just building units, and I can build out my cities. And now where we're at right now, I have many, many, many more industries that are at level 4, level 3, versus over in the Texas game where I have a whole bunch that are sitting at level 1 and 2. And now every 4.5 hours, this will build a tank in 1 hour and 18 minutes. My next tank after that will start in 5 hours and 46 minutes. So every 4.5 hours, I'm building a new unit that I can then go and deploy into the field. So that said, this strategy worked out way better than the other strategy of just going out and jumping out and grabbing as much land as I possibly could in the early stages. Now, what does happen with the other strategy of going out and grabbing as much land as you can in the early stages is the other players get discouraged. You're not just playing against a map, you're actually playing against other human beings. And if you jump out to a big lead in the very, very, very early stages of the game, the other human beings who are playing on the map will get discouraged and quit. I found that happening very frequently. And one thing that you may be able to see down in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's a flashing end game button that will allow us to end the game if all of the 3 players who are remaining choose to quit. I don't want to quit. I want to run this thing. It will be my first solo victory in Conflict of Nations. All my other victories have been coalition victories because I've joined a coalition or started a coalition. So they count as coalition victories. And Moose Gal, I can assure you, Illinois will be declared a protectorate of the state of Texas. I will protect them and prevent any foreign opponents from entering that land. You got my word there. So silly. Anywho, so that's how we're doing in this one as we join this action already in progress. And in both of these games, I've tried to avoid using gold. We spent a lot of gold in another game that I was playing. Let me see if I can remove that brand. Oh, you can see it right there in the upper right-hand corner. But let me remove that and make this bigger. You can see I've got 41,000 gold right there. I have spent the gold strategically in another game uh, where we just got our ass handed to us. This dude spent, uh, I mean, our calculation was that he spent hundreds of real American dollars buying the gold pieces because he had every region fully optimized, research fully optimized, cities fully optimized. You can't do that. You can't do that when you're in the game. I mean, just to show you uh, where are we at? We're at day 35. In that other game, we were at day 25, and he had all of his cities fully maxed out with all of his industries. And just to give an example, uh, I don't have anything maxed out except for one hospital. I think it's this one. Yeah, I've got one hospital here in Yakima that's maxed out. You can't do that. You simply can't have everything maxed out. By day 25, he had level 5 Army base, level 5 air base, level 5 arm industry, level 5 hospital in every single city that he had. And every single region had top level, show you the things we can build in these cities, in the regions rather. Level 5 combat outpost, level 5 airfield, level 5 field hospital, level 5. I mean, everything was level 5. And to get to that point, it's level 3 in the regions rather. To get to that point, you've got to spend serious, serious jack. Uh, and we tried. I had my brother joining me in the game. We tried. We tried to get into it. Um, build out strategically, build out an army, and fight against him. But we just couldn't. We could not keep up. And he ended up wiping everybody out and running the map. And that's what some people think is the way to play and the way to have fun. And bravo to them. So, joining the progress, the game already in progress, you can see the strategy of only going to war when you have to go to war. Um, I'm almost halfway to our goal of 1,700. I'm at 722. Halfway point would be 850. I should get to that halfway point in the next 24 hours, as a matter of fact, because I have the pieces in place to do what I need to do. So 24 to 48 hours, I should be really close to the halfway point. And then after that, we will strategically move forward to figure out the next and remaining points to attack and where to go from there. So there you go. This is, excuse me, a relatively short game night with the Old Humble Distilling Company. Be awesome to each other, guys. We are moving into normal times and emerging from the pandemic, going out among the public and being among people. Don't be assholes to each other. You've spent a year in your home, not interacting with people on a regular basis, maybe only interacting on Twitter. Don't be a Twitter troll in real life. Be decent people. And being decent people to each other, that just makes the whole world a better place. So cheers to you. Welcome back to the real world, and we will see you out and about around Houston. Cheers and good night.